I didn't mean to end up in that part of the woods. The GPS was supposed to reroute me after the highway closure, but the signal dropped somewhere past Whitlock Ridge. I thought I was being clever, taking an old logging road on my map. Figured it would shave off half an hour. Instead, I drove into a nightmare. The road started off normal enough. Gravel, tight bends, patches of overgrowth, nothing I hadn't handled before. I'd been delivering satellite equipment to a rural client and planned to camp overnight before heading back. I was used to back roads, forests, weird people in weirder places. This wasn't my first solo job, but this was different. The first warning sign was the silence. Not peaceful quiet. True silence. No birds, no bugs, no wind. Just the crunch of gravel under tires and the distant groan of my own engine. Then my headlights flashed over something in the ditch. A shape. Human-shaped. I slammed the brakes. When I reversed, there was nothing there. Just long grass. No body, no animal. I told myself it was a trick of the light. Drove on. The road narrowed until it barely fit the truck. Then the trees started closing in. Pines mostly, but packed too tight, like they'd grown together deliberately to hide something. That's when I saw the gate. It was massive, made from old metal and mismatched timber, like someone had welded together scrap from different eras. It looked homemade. But the strangest part, it was wide open. I should have turned around. I thought about it, but my fuel gauge had dipped below a quarter, and I hadn't seen another path in miles. So I went through. The moment I passed under the arch, my radio hissed, full static. Then a voice cut through, whispering my name. I yanked the cord out. No way, no signal, no input, just static in my name. I drove another mile before the truck stuttered and died. Dead. No warning, no lights, nothing. I checked the battery. Fine. Gas tank read a quarter. The engine was cold, like it had sat for hours, not minutes. I grabbed my flashlight and started walking. About half a mile up the road, I found the house. A 2-story farmhouse, rotting and sunken into the ground, like the forest had been slowly trying to reclaim it. The windows were shattered. The door hung off one hinge. But there was smoke rising from the chimney. I froze. I wasn't alone. "Hello?" I called. No answer. I walked up the porch steps, each one groaning like it hadn't been stepped on in decades. I pushed the door open and was hit with a wave of warm air and the smell of something sweet, like cinnamon. Inside it was clean. Not just clean, spotless. No dust, no cobwebs. Like someone had just vacuumed and wiped the whole place down. A fire crackled in the hearth. A pot boiled gently on the stove. And then I heard humming. A soft, tuneless melody coming from upstairs. I called out again. Nothing. Against my better judgment, I climbed the stairs. Each creak felt like a gunshot in the quiet. The humming grew louder, clearer. It was a woman's voice. I reached the top step and found 3 doors, all closed. The humming was behind the one at the end of the hall. I knocked. The humming stopped. The door creaked open slowly. But there was no one there. Just a perfectly made bed, a rocking chair, a mirror, and the faint smell of perfume. I stepped inside. That's when the door slammed shut behind me. I turned, heart pounding, tried the knob, locked. I called out again. "Hello, please, I don't mean any harm." From the mirror, a voice whispered, "He said the same thing." I turned to face it. My own reflection looked back, except it wasn't moving right. It blinked a moment too late. Its mouth didn't match mine. And when I stepped forward, it stepped back. I ran, shouldered the door until it cracked open and bolted down the stairs. The living room was empty now, cold, the fire out. The pot on the stove was black and dry. Everything coated in dust, like no one had lived there in decades. I sprinted back to my truck, half expecting it to be gone. But it was there. I climbed in, turned the key, and it started. No issues, like nothing had happened. I drove, fast, reckless. The gate loomed in my headlights, and I floored it. Right as I passed under it, the radio came alive again. My own voice, screaming, then silence. I didn't stop until I hit asphalt. I drove straight through the night, never looked back. Thought it was over, thought I'd escaped. But I was wrong, because something came with me. It started small. The day after I got home, I noticed the bathroom mirror was slightly fogged every morning. I hadn't showered. I hadn't even used the sink yet. But there was always fog, like someone had stood there breathing. I told myself it was nothing. Old plumbing, maybe. But then I heard footsteps in the hall at 3:17 a.m., 2 nights in a row. I live alone. I keep my doors locked. On the 3rd night, I waited. I sat on the couch in the dark, holding the same flashlight I'd taken into that forest. Right on time, I heard the floorboards creak, slowly, one step at a time, right down the hall toward the living room. But when I turned the flashlight on, there was nothing. The hallway was empty. I didn't sleep after that. I tried to act normal. Go to work, deliver my equipment, laugh at my co-workers' dumb jokes. But something was watching me. Not from outside, from inside. I started seeing my reflection do things I wasn't doing. Slight delays. Smiles I hadn't smiled. Once I caught it blinking when my eyes were open. I stopped looking in mirrors after that. Then things got worse. One afternoon, I went to check my voicemail. The newest one was from my own number, static, for 10 seconds. Then breathing. Then my voice, but slower, lower. "You were supposed to stay," it said. "You let it out." I threw the phone across the room. It shattered. I bought a new one the next day. Changed numbers. But the calls didn't stop. The new phone would ring at exactly 3:17 a.m. every night. Always static. Always that slow, warped version of my voice whispering things only I could understand. Things no one else could have known. I tried sleeping at friends' houses, hotels, once even in my car, 3 towns over. It didn't matter. It always found me. Then I started seeing him. At first I thought it was my reflection again, but it wasn't. It was a person. Me. Dressed like me. Moved like me. But wrong. Like someone wearing my skin but not understanding how to use it. I'd catch glimpses. Outside my window. In store security monitors. In the background of my phone's front camera. Always just for a second. Always just smiling. It never approached. Not until last week. I came home late, after trying to sleep at a friend's place. As I opened the door, I heard my TV on. I hadn't left it on. I stepped inside and froze. On the screen was security footage from my living room. It was me, sitting on the couch, staring directly at the camera. But I hadn't installed cameras. I stood there, paralyzed, watching myself on screen tilt my head and smile. Then the screen cut to black. That night, I didn't sleep. Around 3:17, the power went out. Silence, deeper than normal. And then I heard it, whispering, from behind the bathroom door. I crept over, flashlight in hand. I didn't want to open it. But I did, slowly. Inside, standing in the dark, was me. Same clothes, same face, but blank eyes. No breath, no warmth. It smiled and whispered, "It's your turn to stay." Then it rushed me. I don't remember the impact. I woke up on the bathroom floor, hours later, alone. No lights, no noise. But when I looked in the mirror, the reflection blinked first. I've been pretending ever since. Going to work, answering calls, acting normal. But I know I'm not alone in here. I see him in the corner of my eye sometimes, behind my own thoughts, finishing my sentences, thinking things before I can. Some nights I hear him breathing, when I'm completely still. I tried telling someone, my friend Derek. He looked at me like I was crazy. Then he asked, "Didn't you already tell me this last week?" I hadn't. I swear I hadn't. But maybe he's right. Maybe it's already happening. Maybe I'm not the only one who left something behind that night. Or maybe I didn't leave at all. Maybe I'm still on that road, staring at a house that doesn't exist, with a version of myself standing behind me, whispering, "You let me out."